What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here at DataDash, and today is March 12th of 2020. Well, folks, I would usually start off by saying that I hope you're having a great day wherever you are, but I can only assume, being rational and reasonable, that if you're investing in the cryptocurrency space or in traditional markets such as equities, you're probably not having the best day, and it's probably not been a good few weeks for most people in the space. We've seen cryptocurrency markets dip below $200 billion in valuation. And what you're seeing here on the actual CoinMarketCap website is not a joke. It's not something that's a nightmare that you can wake up from. It's a real reality here in the sense of the price action for cryptocurrency markets. We can see here, outside of stablecoins, every single cryptocurrency is practically in double-digit territory to the downside, with a lot of plays down 30, 40% here in the short term. This has been a cataclysmic event for cryptocurrencies. We haven't seen price action like this in a very, very long period of time. This is not even like bear market levels of selling. This is like dramatic selling across the board in a sense of panic. Now, I want to talk in realistic terms why this is happening. Is it that the coronavirus is weighing down markets? And yes, I'm even going to say it today. I don't care if I get demonetized. At the end of the day, right, a lot of people are thinking that this is the coronavirus. And if you read headlines from websites like Cointelegraph, it's probably what you're going to see, right? And it's the same thing you'll see with CoinDesk and a lot of the other major publications. And I think the reason why is because, just like most other people, they're just as lost in figuring out why this is actually happening. So there's a culmination of a few things here that really sparked this. So we have to talk about the first obvious one that most people either don't know about or aren't keeping their eye on. And it has to do with a mass set of dominoes and liquidation setting off in a very short period of time. So for those of you who don't understand, it's no problem. Just wanted to explain this just in case. Many of you out there probably buy your crypto through Coinbase or maybe through Binance US or through Kraken, and you basically buy it off what's known as spot markets, right? And this is where you're going and taking cash that you have or Bitcoin maybe that you bought, and you're trading directly with some other kind of asset. So maybe Bitcoin in dollars or maybe Bitcoin to an altcoin of some sort, right? Well, that's not how the majority of the market is trading right now. See, you're actually in the minority if you trade that way, because that used to be the standard for trading and investing in cryptocurrencies. But over the last few years, as we had entered into a bear market in 2018 and entered into a relatively uncertain market in 2019 where we went all the way down to 3,000 then up to 14,000, a lot of traders got into a greedy position, and that's where they started trading on margin. Now, margin is a tool, is a very valuable tool. If you can use it, for example, in markets that aren't as volatile as cryptocurrency, say like Forex or for equities, and you can increase your risk profile by increasing it to maybe 2 or 3 times margin. You can not only bring a bigger yield, but it can be very good as well for actually allowing you to have an offset of your portfolio off of exchanges, right? So again, there's a lot of benefits to margin as a tool, but people in the cryptocurrency space have been misled to use it in a very, really atrocious way, using it for 20x margin, 25x margin, 100x margin. And what that basically implies, just to simplify it, if I'm making a trade off of 20x margin, this means that I'm taking on 20 times the risk and 20 times the potential reward on a trade. It sounds very lucrative, right? But it also means that if Bitcoin's price goes down 5%, I get liquidated, meaning I lose all of my money. So it's like going to a casino with the volatility that already is present in cryptocurrencies. But we've seen a really interesting dilemma hit cryptocurrency markets, and that is where the vast majority of liquidity by far is on derivatives platforms or is in some kind of futures platform where it's basically trading on some form of margin, right? And now we're seeing a phenomena where there's not enough base liquidity on spot markets to where we can get real valuable price discovery. And what we end up getting is too many people who are over leveraged on long positions and or short positions, in this case, that get triggered by a small amount of spot liquidity. I mean, if you really take a look across the board, guys, we're taking a look at Bitstamp, for example, right? 23,000 Bitcoin has led us to sell off over 24 to 25%. If we take a look here at Coinbase, right? And simply just look at the volume here, right? 35,000 Bitcoin. We saw this back a couple of weeks ago, right? This is not that far off from what we've seen in the past. Back here, for example, November 22nd of 2019, we saw this kind of sell-side liquidity. But it's been a growing issue here where across the board, we're seeing too much liquidity enter into margin trading platforms, and now we're not having enough liquidity on the buy and sell side to actually have fine price discovery on spot exchanges where these derivative platforms get their price from. And this has led us to having the biggest, let me be very clear, the biggest liquidation in the history of cryptocurrencies by far in the entire history of cryptocurrency markets in one single day. Now, could you say this is because of Corona as well? Could it also be as well due to a lot of different factors? Yeah, I have no doubt that over the last few weeks, as other markets, a lot of the risk on markets like equities and different markets across the globe are faring in a very negative position right now, that might be having some effect on cryptocurrencies. Yeah, maybe, no doubt. But I think the biggest thing here that we need to take in mind too is that we broke a 5-year long-term uptrend line, the line that we had been talking about. And I'll be honest, guys, I'm not going to sit here and say that I called for this. This is completely opposite of what I was expecting. I was hoping that we would hold it here, wedge through here, and then eventually break out. But someone hit the fat finger. Someone sold. And it was enough in this case to trigger a mass liquidation event where people had to cover themselves. And it started to apply a huge amount of sell side pressure to where now Bitcoin right now is down nearly 23%, right? So, and not only this as well, right? This is bad enough in the sense of breaking the 5-year long-term uptrend line. Depending on who you talk to and how you actually go about drawing these lines, we can take a look at the official data science models here for Bitcoin. And we can see here that the official model that they utilize, I'm pretty sure here this is the actual, this is for Cole Garner here in this case. So again, one of the official data science models on to look into Bitcoin, and I bet if you look at the actual logarithmic curve models for people, for example, like 1 trillion USD or Plan B, who's one of the big data science model guys in the crypto space, you'll see that we broke the logarithmic curve. And that to me is very concerning. We were already pressing on the lower end here for a very long period of time. But you can see here the line at this region of time. They haven't updated the price here. We can zoom in just to give you some perspective, right? So now we're here on March 12th here. The line would be here at 7,400. This should be the lowest that Bitcoin should be able to go. And we broke it pretty significantly, down to 6K. I mean, this is a very historic day in the sense of that, guys. Now, I don't want you guys to panic or FUD, right? I do have a sense of urgency in the way that I'm talking and a sense of urgency and understanding the ramifications of this. So I want to make it very clear what I'm looking for here, right, in the sense of markets, right? I want to see really in the next 48, 72 hours this rebounding and coming back up very soon. We've seen these kind of events in crypto markets. I want to make that very clear. We'll go back here to Bitstamp. The reason I had Bitstamp up is because we not only had the logarithmic curve here that we could showcase the break on, so you can see we had a pretty significant breakdown through it. But along with that as well, what's very important to take into mind is that during the last kind of capitulation period after the end of the bear market, and then we started to enter in retesting back up to the highs and again setting up for the next cycle, we had plentiful amounts of 20% plus downward days in price action. Let's make that very clear. And if you extend that out to longer periods of time as well, you can see that we've had the 30 to 40% corrections as well, right? So it's not too crazy to think that we're going to be getting some of these corrections, guys, where we get these kind of pullbacks in a day or two where we get 20%, 25%, right? Especially when we have this core issue that was also the reason why Bitcoin spiked up back here during the China news. We had a mass liquidation on shorts. It was the opposite type of liquidation event. So in this case, we're riding around 6K here, right? Doesn't seem like we're riding much lower, but I got to tell you guys, if we don't see a move up here soon, this is going to have me very, very concerned. Plain and simple. I'm not going to lie about it, guys. I've talked about it for a while that if we were to ever see a break below the logarithmic growth curves, that's going to be a huge challenge to Bitcoin, right? So it's going to be a matter of whether or not we really pick up here, right, over the next couple of days. So in the next day or two, again, I'll have more of a kind of concise answer as to my thoughts on the market. Right now, I'm not trading. I'm not doing anything excessive. I'm still holding my long-term positions. And it seems like right now we're getting a little bit of a rebound here, but I'm not seeing the volume here. And that's what really kind of ticks me off, guys, that so many people are feeling that every time the market goes down, they need to take a margin position. I would love for people to ask themselves, because I've met so many good people, so many awesome people who fall for the gambling trick of margin. And I would just ask, how are you doing? Like, how is the positions going in the market? And for many people aren't winning. It's a losing game for so many people. Trading alone is already a losing game for so many people. Even if you win at it, the question is, can you actually beat out your long-term portfolio? Can you beat out just simply holding long-term? And then not to mention factor in the cost of the stress that you're going to have trying to watch the markets 24/7. Again, I want to emphasize, guys, I haven't made any trades in the last 24 hours. I'm not reacting to this. I'm going to wait and see how the market reacts because I know that there's a chance here in this case where markets could rebound, that we could get back up to a more normalized range, and I think we might be seeing that right now materialize in the chart. But I'm just going to remain patient. I'm not going ahead and predicting anything. This isn't the end-all be-all of Bitcoin. You have all kinds of fundamental factors at play here that can be very beneficial for Bitcoin. But there also might be some fear as well of people being concerned that at right now, the current price range, when the halving comes up, that a lot of miners are not going to be able to produce at a profit. I talked about this with a friend last night here in New York City. I forgot to mention that to you guys. I'm in New York City. I guess you could probably already presume I'm not in my normal spot, and you might be hearing some background construction. That's New York for you. But all in all, we were talking about the potential concern that if Bitcoin's price doesn't move up soon enough, in this case, we could get a very, very serious case of miner capitulation across the board. And this is just going to apply more and more pressure right now in the short term. So keep an eye on the hash rate, see what happens. But I want to make it very clear, guys. In crypto, I know it feels like there's a lot of blood right now. This isn't the only market feeling blood. I mean, if you look across the major multi-trillion-dollar index markets for equities, most of them are down anywhere from 5 upwards towards Brazil, which is down 13%. This is not. Oh well, I'm sorry, guys. That's actually on the. Actually, I don't know. Maybe that is March 11th. Yeah, it's March 11th, so that's not the most recent day. But all in all, guys, Russia's down another 9%. India's indices are down 9%. Germany indice, or the tech DAX, CAC for France. Right, you have all these different countries across the board feeling the pain. A lot of it has to do with COVID. A lot of it has to do with markets just generally being overextended and the fundamental system of credit markets being a huge risk as the economy is nearly frozen in a lot of factors. So anyways, right, I don't want to stress about it, guys. I'm just saying at this moment, we've got to keep an eye across the board of markets. If you're not paying attention right now, this is the time to be paying attention. I'll be doing daily videos as much as I can here over the next couple of days. I'll be doing one tomorrow, as well as possibly some over the weekend. I know I usually do it Monday through Friday, but I'm definitely going to be here for you guys during these times. I want to be here to talk you through it, to just kind of, again, try to analyze what we can get out of these market movements. And along with that as well, I want to share with you guys, I did an interview with Pomp yesterday that I think you guys would really like. It was really nice to sit down with Anthony. I've known Anthony since back in October. Well, I've known about him for a while, but I met Anthony back in Las Vegas at a cryptocurrency conference, World CryptoCon. And he's just not only, he's a really genuine guy, but man, we had a great hour-long conversation. A really solid podcast, very substance. So I recommend you guys go check it out either on Twitter or over on their YouTube channel. I'm not sure if they have it up yet. But again, all in all, guys, I'm going to be here through all of this. And I think in a very short period of time, we're going to realize whether or not this is just a bump in the road here for crypto, or if this is going to be a material change to the kind of outlook we might have for Bitcoin over the next coming months. And it might be a big interference with the halving event. So we're going to see that really over the next 48, 72 hours. It's just a matter of patience here, guys. Don't do anything irrational. Keep your mind focused on the long-term prize. I still have a very strong belief here that we've got a chance for Bitcoin to make a very nice return over the next coming years. All right? So, anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you guys' patience on this, as I just woke up about an hour and a half ago. I've been out doing a lot of business stuff and networking while I'm here in New York City. But I will keep up the content, and I hope you all, again, even though the markets aren't faring well, I hope you all are having a fantastic day wherever you are, and I'll see you all in the next video. Stay tuned.